Welcome to The Explainer. You know, for the longest time, the skilled trades were kind of seen as the fallback plan, right? The thing you did if college wasn't for you? Well, today we're going to flip that script. We're looking at why, for a whole new generation, the trades are becoming the first choice, a direct path to financial freedom, minus that mountain of student debt.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? We're talking about electricians, young ones, making six figures by the time they're 24. And yet, so many people still think the trades are some kind of fallback. It's wild, because the reality on the ground, it tells a completely different story.
Okay, let's really dig into this, because when you put these two paths side by side, the difference is just staggering. Seriously, think about it. On one hand, you've got the 4-year degree path where you're basically racking up debt for 4 years. But on the other path, the skilled trades, you are literally earning money from day one. You're getting paid to learn. That means you're building a solid financial foundation while your friends are maybe just hitting their sophomore year.
And you had to understand, this isn't just some small hiring problem for a few companies. We're talking about a massive wave of retirements. A whole generation of skilled workers is leaving the workforce. So what happens then? For these industries, we're talking construction, mining, the stuff that builds our world, getting young people in the door isn't about growth anymore. It's literally about survival.
So if that's the problem, how do you solve it? Well, first things first, you have to understand this new workforce. What do they really want from a career? Because I'll tell you, their priorities are a whole different ballgame compared to previous generations.
Okay, just take a look at this list. A decent paycheck? Yeah, that's just the starting point now. It's expected. But look at what else is on here. Purpose, flexibility, growth opportunities. And this one is huge. Transparency. They want to know what they're going to get paid right up front. See, it's not just about landing a job anymore. It's about building a life that actually means something to them.
And this whole idea of financial independence, it ties right into this massive cultural trend you might have heard of, the FIRE movement. That stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. The whole goal is to make good money early, avoid debt like the plague, and invest smart. And when you really think about it, the skilled trades are basically a perfect blueprint for that philosophy. Earn while you learn, zero debt, it's a match made in heaven.
Okay, so if the trades are such a perfect fit, then what's the problem? Why aren't more people jumping at this? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is the story that's been told for decades. The biggest roadblock isn't the job itself, it's the old, tired myths that just won't seem to go away.
You know the stereotype I'm talking about, right? The idea that it's all just dirty, dangerous, and dated. That it's a last resort for people who, weren't book smart. It's an image that's been stuck in our heads for decades, and frankly, it's just plain wrong. But then you look at the reality today, and it's a night and day difference. We're talking about jobs that are super tech-driven, safe, and modern. I mean, think about using drones for surveying, or plugging in advanced computers to diagnose a problem. This isn't brute force, this is precision work, and it's all powered by some seriously cool tech.
So who's actually changing this story? It's the people doing the work. A whole new generation of tradespeople are getting on platforms like TikTok and YouTube, and they're just showing you. They're pulling back the curtain and letting millions of people see what a day in their life actually looks like. They're the new storytellers, and believe me, they are completely changing the game.
All right, so if you're an employer listening to this, you're probably thinking, okay, I get it, but how do I actually get these people to apply? Well, the good news is there's a playbook for this, and the source material we're looking at today lays out some really clear, practical strategies.
Strategy number 1, and this is maybe the most important, radical transparency. For this generation, that means no more secrets, no more guessing games. They want to know the deal, wages, benefits, how they can grow, right from the very beginning. If you hide the salary range in a job posting, that's an instant red flag. They'll just scroll right past.
So instead of those long, wordy job descriptions that nobody reads, imagine this, a simple one-page snapshot that just lays it all out. Here's your base pay, here are your benefits, here's the pension match, it's all right there. It's not just about information. It's about respect. It tells a potential hire, we value your time and we have nothing to hide. That builds trust instantly.
Next up, strategy number 2, you have to engage early. And I mean really early. You've got to connect with students before those old, outdated stereotypes have a chance to sink in. Because by grade 10, a lot of them have already decided or been told that the trades aren't for them. So things like hosting a site tour, offering scholarships, or even a paid summer pre-apprenticeship. That's how you show them the reality before someone else can sell them the myth.
But look, getting people in the door is only half the battle, right? If you want them to stay, you have to do more than just fill a role. You have to build a real culture. This generation isn't just looking for a paycheck, they're looking for a community. They need to feel like their voice actually matters, like they're a part of something bigger.
And this isn't just some fluffy feel-good idea. This actually works. Take this real-world example. A mine up in Northern Ontario created something called a Young Talent Collective. Basically, it was an advisory council for all their workers under 30. And the key part is, they didn't just create it, they listened to them. And the result? A 32% drop in people quitting in their first year. I mean, wow, that's the power of just giving people a voice.
And you can even apply this thinking to really tough work models like fly-in, fly-out jobs. Instead of framing it as this huge sacrifice, smart companies are turning it into a lifestyle advantage. Think about it. What if you could swap your flight home for a paid trip to a resort for you and your family? Or use your downtime on site to take an online course that the company pays for? All of a sudden, the job isn't just a job anymore. It's a launchpad for travel, for personal growth, and for saving some serious cash.
So when you pull all these threads together, what does it all mean? Well, it seems like we're watching a fundamental shift, a total redefinition of what an aspirational career even looks like anymore. So let's just quickly recap the big takeaways here. First, attracting young people isn't a nice-to-have, it's a survival strategy. Second, this generation cares about way more than just money. They want purpose and transparency. We also saw how powerful storytelling is for busting those old myths. And finally, you build trust with clear pay and modern pathways, and you make people stay with a great culture. It's about selling a career, not just filling a job.
And that really leaves us with one big question to think about. In a world where student debt is soaring and so many people are feeling burned out by the digital grind, are the skilled trades still the fallback plan? Or have they become the smartest, most direct path to real financial freedom?